Hi everyone, it is Oleksandr from PortaOne, again to talk to you about our XDR Mediator, and today it's time for a demo session. What I'm going to demonstrate for you today is a step-by-step configuration of the XDR Mediator utility in PortaSwitch, including some basic data transformation logic as well as troubleshooting. So let's jump into it. The first step is to obtain vendor CDR samples. It's important to remember that each vendor can present CDRs in their own manner. For example, storing CLI, CLD in the local format, having a different column order, providing several records applicable to the same session, or even using different file formats. The good news is that, if necessary, the XDR Mediator can be programmed to correctly parse and transform almost any file format with any data structure inside for further processing. Though, obviously, if you can convince your vendor to stick to the good old text file, that would be the easiest option and will save you time. That's why in this example I'll be using a text file as well. Step 2 is to configure the raw CDR upload for your XDR Mediator utility. At PortaOne, we generally recommend that you use the FTP or SFTP protocol. However, since I'll be demonstrating the XDR Mediator on a local virtual machine, just for the sake of simplicity, I'll be placing text files with raw CDRs directly into a dedicated directory on the file system with PortaSwitch. That said, I strongly recommend against this option in actual, real production due to security reasons. Then, step 3 is to add XDR Mediator instances on the configuration server. Keep in mind that usually all of these activities on the configuration server are done by PortaOne support staff on a Timecodes request. Note that I'm also not getting much into how to access the configuration server web interface or the process of applying new configuration, since this information is easy to find on a dedicated page on the PortaOne website. So if you want to know more about that, please check the links in the description. The PortaSwitch system you will be working with is also likely already configured according to our initial configuration handbook. So, for this demonstration, let's assume that all required services like the billing engine, databases and so on were added earlier. My main goal here is to show you what options are available and which ones are mandatory. So let's proceed. Let's clone this configuration. Go to the auxiliaries section, CDR mediation, and press instance create. Select the server, select the IP address. Reasonable to allocate any private IP address. We don't need public access to this component. And select the environment. Press save. Then we go to the CDR source section, and we have this option column list. Now we are to specify the header names for the CSV file here. Obviously it's possible to use names like ABC and do the remapping directly in the code, but from my experience this can lead to confusion during troubleshooting, so for that reason it's worth the effort to use meaningful names from the very beginning here. The header order is also important, so make sure that the names you define directly correspond to the column order in the source CSV file. Also, we need to specify the file's input directory. Then let's go to the data transformation section. Here we also need to define the data transformation rules that will be applied to the parsed CDRs from the source CDR files. To do this, we need to create our custom Perl modules and define their name and the path to this module in the data transformation group. I don't have those modules created yet, but I know how I'm going to name them and where I'm going to place them, so let's add them now, knowing that we will create them during the next phase. Also, let's get back to the CDR source section and select time zone. Let it be UTC. That's it. Let's press save and create a CDR rating instance as well. Repeating the same steps, so select the server, the same IP address and environment. We don't need to adjust anything on CDR rating side, at least for our test case. So press save and verify, and as you can see, this is the diff of our configuration, and what we need to do is to press check apply. That's it. Okay, so the configuration has been applied without any errors, but let's double check that both CDR extraction and CDR rating instances were actually deployed and they are actually up and running. Yeah, as you can see, everything is loaded and active.